everybody, welcome back to our class on Eggsactly. Hopefully you have completed class 1 so that you're now ready to do the next section of it, which we're going to do today. And this is a strip that we're going to work on. If you come over to my cutting table, once again you will see the strip that I am making. And this is a basic block that you've done many times. I'm just going to show you 2 different ways of doing it. So again, as our pattern says, you can draw your line with a washable ink from corner to corner. You would sew it 1 thread on the side of your seam allowance. Sew, press, and cut. But we can also use the ruler like we did last time, the Creative Grid folded corner clipper. Now I mentioned last time, and I'm going to use it again, if you use a washable glue, you can very lightly, and I'm emphasizing now lightly, adhere your 2 pieces together. This works for 2 reasons. 1, it will hold it square in the corner. It will hold it while you cut it, and it will also hold it so that you can go over to the machine and sew it. You don't want to use a lot of glue on it because it will accumulate dust and dirt, and we don't want to do that. We just want to adhere our 2 pieces together. So here I have them all squared off. I'm going to use my ruler. I'm going to go sew it and press it, and this is part of the block. Now when we have our A and B sections made, we have to connect them. And one thing I want to mention to you is when you're sewing them on the machine, have the pieced section on top. So when we're doing our 1/4 inch seam, you just want to graze that X so that when you press it open, you get the perfect point. Now in the row that we are doing, we're using 2 different color fabrics, and we're going to alternate them so it almost looks like a zigzag. Each one has the flying goose block, flying geese, one with the dark fabric as the triangle and one as the background of the triangle. And that's what we did here and also over here. This time we used our dark fabric with a white corner, and this time we used the white with the dark corner. Once we get your 2 geese made, we have blocks A, B, C, and D, and the only difference is what the colors, how they line up. And we will have a dark flying goose on top of a background one each time. When you sew these together, you're going to have your row. And if you go back to your pattern, you can check it and see, it will tell you what this little lattice should be, so you can sign that to the bottom. Now you're ready to sew our second piece to our original bunny square. And by the time we meet again next time, you should have that much of the quilt done. So until we meet again, bye.
In the zigzag strip, I have loaded my machine with a light green-gray thread that should blend well with this, and I'm going to stitch a series of switchbacks in here, which is left to right and curve, right to left and curve. I'm quilting this sideways since I'm on a home sewing machine, so I'm going to quilt it from one side to the other, and I can move the entire zigzag through the machine. If you're on a long arm, you may choose to do this left to right on the frame. Left to right, curve, right to left. I'm stitching these rows approximately 1/4 of an inch apart because that is approximately the size of my foot. So I'm measuring the distance by the size of my foot. And here's what that strip looks like when it's finished.